Hello and welcome to another tasting with me, Don Kavanagh from Wine Searcher and Whiskey Searcher. Today we've got a very special whiskey to taste. It's one that I haven't tried in a long time. There are reasons for this, as I'll go into shortly, but to introduce the bottle we're going to try today, it's this, the Macallan, the 12-year-old sherry cask bottling of the Macallan, known as the Rolls Royce of whiskies. And it is a very smooth ride. But first, let's talk about the sherry cask. During the 1990s, there was a shortage of sherry casks on the world, and a lot of Scottish distillers had to move to using a lot more bourbon casks instead of the usual sherry cask. This posed a problem for the Macallan because they prided themselves on always aging all their whiskey in sherry casks, and so to mitigate the problem, what they did was they started using a blend of bourbon aged whiskies and sherry aged whiskies, and to prevent anyone mistaking them or suggesting that the quality had changed, they called it the fine oak, and that's probably the most common, one of the more common bottlings around you'll find today, the fine oak bottling. That happened in the 90s, as I say, but in more recent years, as more sherry casks have come online and more distilleries have actually started buying sherry casks and leasing them to sherry houses to produce an aged sherry in, and then taking them back once they've been sufficiently seasoned, you've seen a lot more of the sherry cask Macallan on the shelves. Now, I haven't had sherry cask Macallan since, it's many years now. It'll be almost 20 years. I think the last time I had this, I was fly fishing in the Spey, the River Spey, which flows past Craig Elchies, which is where the Macallan is based. A wonderful morning's fishing, I have to say. The fish weren't biting, and a couple of drams of this in me, I didn't really care. I mean, who wants to wrestle a salmon when you could just basically stand up to your chest in ice cold water, defrosting yourself with whiskey? Anyway, let's see what the sherry cask is like. Well, first of all, have a look at that colour. It's quite beautiful, almost mahogany shade. You kind of know this is going to be packed with flavour. And it is. It's got those big classic Macallan notes, like a Christmas cake in a bottle. All those baking spices, dried fruits, crystallized fruits. And a slightly sour undertone, almost a rancio note from the sherry cask. It's big, it just about leaps out of the glass. Let's see what it tastes like. Oh, it's been a while. It's been too long. The initial thing you notice is the mouthfeel. It's a big, almost oily whiskey in the mouth. There's a lot of body in there. It's incredibly smooth. It's beautifully integrated. The oak works perfectly with the fruit notes and the spice notes. It's just one seamless whole. It's magnificent. The finish just goes on forever. That's still roaring back. There's no harshness. It's just this incredible warming finish. Very good. I shall have to renew my acquaintance with the Macallan sherry cask, I think. Anyway, slán